Hello, everyone. My name is Valentino. I'm with Queer HCEO, or I am Queer HCEO with Corporate Diagnostics Center. Today, we're going to be talking to Bridget Willard from Bridget Willard LLC. Um, I wanted to give you a very special welcome and congratulations on your 4-year entrepreneur anniversary, which is super exciting.
Thank
So,
you.
excellent. So today if you want to go ahead and download we are on about 12 different platforms right now, playing simultaneously. Go ahead and click the link above, and then you'll be able to download Restream. And then also, if you wanted to get in contact with Bridget, make sure to get her information down, and you can visit her at Twitter, Bridget M. Willard on Twitter. That's her handle feed. Okay, Bridget, how are you today?
I'm doing great. It's Sunday night, and I've got my chai and my bourbon. So I'm on brand. Got to have the logo. See, the logo is a bourbon cup.
So I thought that's what that was. So what inspired that? Do you make
Oh,
your own bourbon?
no,
That would
I
be
spent too
amazing.
much money drinking bourbons. What's really happening? Okay, so my designer, Rhonda Nygaard from Fat Dog Creatives,
Mhm,
she redoes my site every so often. And it started as a dragon and all this other stuff because I have a tattoo of a dragon on my hip.
mhm.
And then we did a whole rebrand of kind of like this milk and cookies vibe of because I teach people how to do social media.
Yeah.
I also handle it, but I teach them, and that a teacher is core to who I am. However, my audience is disproportionately masculine.
Yes.
So because they're WordPress developers, and so I thought, I feel like maybe I'm a little. I know I'm feminine, but I feel like maybe my whole brand is just off-putting.
Mhm.
So I went through her whole branding workshop, which includes a couple of personality tests, trying to find out what Jungian archetype you are, all her
Mhm.
questionnaires, and she said, "What if we went?" Because I love the tactileness of organic and nature, and
Yeah.
whiskey has to be in oak barrels, or it's not whiskey. And so, like, there's this like whole like vibe of hospitality too. Like, you sit down with your friend, you like, do you want to have a drink, or they come to your house, you want to have a drink? Like, you
Mhm.
have beverages as part of being hospitable. People understand that. They understand how to be social in a bar, in a coffee shop, you
Mhm.
know? And beverages and food are just a great way to show that exchange of humanity.
So like linking
So
it all together, it's like the link of it.
yeah, so she came up with that logo. We redid the site, and then she goes, "Your old logo is just not working."
Aw.
And so she came up with that, and I was like, "Perfect." Of course, though, she's not a drinker, and she had the glass like way up high. I'm like,
Uh,
no, dude, it's got this is already 2 fingers, you
You
know.
gotta show what a real work day looks like.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
the chat bubbles are like the ice.
There we go. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Yep. So actually, your screen just cleared up when you got closer, so that actually worked out for us.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. So how long ago did you change your brand? Like, were you afraid to change your branding, or was this something that just came natural?
Well, as far as the website design, I'm like, whatever. It's like my hair. Let's just try it. It'll grow back. It's just the internet. We're not curing cancer. It's just the internet, right? And it wasn't like a total rebrand. It's like
Yes,
I evolve. My audience evolves. That's why I have
absolutely.
a issue with personas.
Oh, what do you mean an issue with personas? Tell me about that. Because I heard you say about personality types. So did you actually integrate something with your program to check personality types?
I didn't because I don't
It
do
was that
that
woman.
branding profile,
Yeah.
but that was part of Rhonda's
She's
process
brilliant.
before
Look
she
at
came.
her.
I know, she's amazing. So I thought I was the hero. I'm not. I'm the muse. And that's fine. I'm the person. I mean, I'm the person that helps. I'm a
Yeah.
helper, and so that's fine. Like, you get used to who you are.
Absolutely.
So, as far as personas go in marketing, a lot of times people say, and we were talking about this before, do you write for your audience? Do you create shows for your audience? Or do you and let your audience find you?
Yeah.
Now, I say six of one and half a dozen of the other. But comedians, they try out their stuff, and 4 years of being at the improv, they find their voice.
Until
We
they figure it out, right? Until they find something that really clicks and that seems natural for them.
Yeah, the documentary on the improv, that's what they said. You wanna be good, you wanna find your voice as a comedian, do you stand up every week for 4 years? We think we should be able to find our voice just like that because, we just had an idea and we started doing something. No, so why would yes, you should check your analytics and your demographics, like I just said, that I noticed most of my clients are
Mhm.
men, okay?
How do you feel
So
about that? Like working in because I actually never thought about that. So is that typically that's why there's all these programs like Google has a program that that has a woman initiative and a people of color initiative, and then Facebook also has that initiative as well that I've seen. Ooh, and LinkedIn also has that initiative that they've done over the years. So are there other groups that you're part of that that you work with other women to empower them to take part in this?
Well, a while back, I started with my friend Jen Miller and Elizabeth Schilling, Women Who WP, which
Hmm.
was a women's meetup for WordPress.
Yes.
I left the board because I was moving and everything like that, and it was just time for me to change. It was growing enough.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's a lot of things like that. So, but my clients are WordPress developers and they're in tech. So I have one, I have two female clients.
That's wonderful. Is it different to work with them? Is the communication pattern completely different than working with
Yes.
Mac? Yeah,
Yes. And I've always worked with men. I've always worked in male dominated fields,
yeah.
construction, church, even when I was in church, that's all men, construction,
Yeah, I
and
saw the roofing when you said about the roo I was like, "I wonder what she created." Like, I was very curious because that's actually people that's an overlooked market, and people think like, "Oh, it's just construction." No, it is not
there's
just
no
construction, friend.
there's no just.
There
Those
is
people
no
make more
just.
money than we do, and they don't have student loan debt.
That's what I'm talking
So
about.
who's the dummy?
It is what it is, though. Are you still in student loan debt? Let's not talk about that.
Yes,
That's a whole nother episode of Welcome Back and Where Are You Now?
I know.
Bridget has changed her name because she still owes $300,000.
Oh, it's only 12, but still, it's like it's been there since 1998.
Oh my goodness! So we went to college around the same time we started. I started in '99. Oh, interesting. I like it. So where are you originally from, Bridget?
I am originally from Butterfly Town, USA, Pacific Grove, California, just about 2.5 hours south of San Francisco.
Stop it. Did you so like how was that? Did you love the Bay Area?
I mean, that's something somebody my age loves. Okay, you grow up there, there's nothing to do, and it's all Richie Riches, and I was in the ghetto, so I didn't
Oh.
fit in. I got good hand-me-down clothes though, and yeah, it
I
was.
I chat with you right now.
I it's true. I got teased because I didn't know how to say Lacoste or Lacosta,
Oh my
whatever.
gosh,
I thought,
yeah.
yeah, see, I still don't know how to say it. It's traumatic for me. I'm like, I don't know. Somebody gave this pink shirt with an alligator to me.
It's all about the alligator though. Like, did you know they
I
even
just
have
thought it was cute.
I didn't know what the alligator was, and they have I'm from Los Angeles, and so they on Melrose, they have a huge Lacoste store, and I'm like, "But it looks so boring in there." Oops, I probably shouldn't say that on my live, but the store looked very boring for my age demographic, and now
Right.
I'm like, "Ooh, I really like the texture of this shirt because it fits perfectly." Like,
Yeah,
what?
but I
When does
mean,
that happen, right?
I, yeah, but I mean, I was 10 in 1983. That was right at the height of the preppy movement.
Ah.
The Breakfast Club is my generation. I still like, oh man, I really like her outfit.
I like that. So now you are so you liked it, and what would tell me a little bit like about how you got to where you are right now. So like when did you know like where did
Physically, mentally, spiritually.
Well, let's
That is
no,
a deep
let's
question,
start it.
Valentino.
I know.
An hour is not long enough for that answer.
The other day, I was filling out this form for a grant, and it said, "Who are you?" And I looked at my spouse, and I said, "It is way too early in the morning for an existential crisis." They're like, they want to know who you are, not what you do. And I'm like, "But what I do is who I am." They're like,
Yes,
"No, no, it's not." And I'm like, "That's for normal humans, not entrepreneurs. What I do is who I am."
yes, that's that. Yes.
You
So
get
I
it?
no,
Yeah.
100%. I used to say on LinkedIn that I was a secretary by trade, a teacher by degree, and a marketer by instinct. So
Yeah.
that is the most succinct way to say,
And so how did you break away from that day-to-day office environment, or did you
oh,
ever?
I knew I had to. I knew I had to because I was at the top of my income, and at the time, my late husband was, well, he was a lot older than me, and I knew that I would need to be home. I knew I
Mhm.
needed to transition from construction accounting. I've been in construction for 15 years
Wow.
and go into, tech. It took a long time and a bunch of friends and almost an intervention for me to see that I'm good at social media, not just
Mhm.
just everybody isn't good at it.
Yeah.
Like I had a unique skill set. And so
When did you, like, kind of hone in on that? Because social media and people don't realize the evolution of social media, right? And
right.
so when did you like, at what point were you like, "Ah, this," like, at what the beginning, the middle, or where we're at now?
So in 2007, I was listening to MacBreak Weekly with Leo Laporte on the Twit network,
Mhm.
and he talked about Twitter and WordPress.com. Those two things changed my life.
Wow, that's
In
impressive.
2009, when the economy went to crap, and I was at a commercial general contractor, I started using Twitter for the business. I started writing project profiles, which I now know are case studies or blog posts. I
Mhm.
started a WordPress blog for them. I was already doing the stupid POS CSS website that I
Yeah.
stole from CSS Zen Garden, like I was already doing all that extra stuff on the side. So then all of a sudden I realized I'm a content marketer, and then I saw that Buffer was hiring a happiness engineer for $70,000, and I was making 39.9.
And that happens more often than you can imagine, right?
And I was like,
And how do you get there, right?
well,
How
I
like,
didn't I didn't make that. I didn't make the cut, but you had to read, you know, How to Make Friends and Influence People and Delivering Happiness by Tony Hsieh, but I'm not a fast reader, so I got it on Audible. I was commuting an hour to work, so I was gone 11 hours every day, and I was in Southern California at this time. I was crying, Valentino, crying. I didn't know that you could be happy at work.
there's no such thing. Wait, what? Can you repeat that? I kind of tuned out there. What did you say?
I didn't know that you could be happy at work.
At the workplace, like
At work.
where they pay
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Wow. How do you do
No.
that? Who is this writer? Who is this author? We need him on this show because I need him too.
Well, he passed away. It's
Uh,
Tony Hsieh, the former CEO of Zappos.
oh yes. Okay, I've
And
heard of
his
this
book,
book.
Delivering Happiness, yeah,
Okay.
but he was talking about all these people being happy, and I was like, "That's for millennials." Like,
Mhm,
I'm like, "You go to work, you pay your bills, whatever money's left, you do something that makes you happy." And then I
mhm,
was like, "You know what? I should be able to be happy too."
right?
So I
And
didn't make the cut for Buffer, but, I started going to word camps and things like that. People found me, and then I was working 16-hour days so that I would, because I was doing side work
mhm.
so that I could get my dream job, which was at an advertising agency in San Diego.
And you got that dream job.
Yes, I did.
That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And
I worked in the franchising industry, also male-dominated field,
they all are.
pretty much.
You know what's really funny is that, like, I have a really effeminate voice, and then when I get really irritated, I do it on purpose, especially if they're super masculine, and because I know I offend them, and so I get really, really effeminate. So what I started doing when I started getting like dealing with like real business people that weren't taking me seriously, I put earrings in. I just stopped shaving. I stopped combing my hair. I go in flip flops, and I get this really ugly bag, and I walk in like this, like just like I'm ready to fight everybody, like a little old lady, right? This person.
You're my soulmate.
And I would just do this, and I'm like, "Excuse me, do you like you understand what's going on here? Do you understand this? And they were like, is this guy like, no, you want to treat me like a joke? I'm going to show you what a joke is.
Yeah.
So it's hard. And, I can't imagine being a woman in in this time frame, right, of growth within technology. And if you're surrounded by men, how does that work? Are
Well,
you
it's
okay
not
with it
just the
now?
man thing. I find that the biggest problem is developer versus marketer.
Okay. I get that.
Because the developers think that they're engineers and they're all into science, and that marketers aren't scientists at all. But I would
No.
consider myself a social science scientist. I read, like you're like, oh, I stalked you. No, you did research. You
Yeah.
found out what about me, right?
Yeah.
I read people's tweets. I know exactly what they're thinking. I
Yeah.
am the Diane Fossey of Twitter. I know who the silverback is in each one of my clients' industries. That's my job. But like, so I have like my opinions about Google Analytics being one small part of your marketing, and also an autopsy of the past.
Yeah.
You change your behavior now, then those results are irrelevant.
Yes. No, they're not. That's not true. It really you have to do a lot of work to change that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, but that was yesterday. If
Yeah.
you change, if like you
For
if what
sales, in a sales mindset and a
yes,
marketing mindset,
right.
abso-freaking-lutely.
That's
Yes,
what I'm
that
saying.
totally
Like,
changes everything.
mhm.
Yeah, and that people don't realize that too. And so like one thing that I've learned about analytics is that so I've watched my numbers rise and then I've watched them fall and then I watch people panic and then I watch them relax and I'm like, like Instagram locked me out because I had 5,000 views one day and they thought somebody hacked my hacked my Instagram. And I was like, no, Insta, people just liked me for a day and you stole that thunder. No one likes me now. But no, and that's what happens though, right? So the analytics of it all, it changes everything. And I was very impressed with that. Are you when you do your do you how have your analytics grown with Launch with Words over the years?
Haha, my time on site is up.
Nice.
I mean, like
You
I'm
said
no
wait, say it
okay.
again?
Like my average page session, time on site, whatever it's called now. They keep changing the names, and I'm old. Okay,
Yeah.
so like
It's longer now than it was before.
yeah, it's longer. My average time on site is longer because they're on those pages, they're reading, they're watching the videos that are on those pages. So
Hmm.
if I have a video, I put it in a blog post because I see people. Some people like the video, some people want to read, right?
Mm.
And so I a lot of my developers. So I wrote a book called How to Market Your Plugin,
Hmm.
and because that's what I worked in, plugin and product marketing. And
Yes.
everybody's like, they make their own separate domain websites with all these domains they buy,
Yeah.
and then they're like, you should consolidate because every time you make that extra website, you are duplicating your work and diluting your marketing efforts. And they're like, well,
Mhm.
they're different products. I'm like, have you heard of this small company called Amazon? And so, like, I almost did it just to like prove to everybody that I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Please,
Yeah.
sorry, but also yes, because I can have the domain launchwithwords.com, but it
Hmm.
goes to bridgetwiller.com, right? And
Yeah.
so, I just keep building those downloads. I have 3 premium packs available now: Chamber of Commerce, roofing, residential,
But it all
general
gets rolled
contractor.
in to
But it's
you.
all on bridgetwiller.com
Yeah.
because it's all my business.
Mhm.
See, so like people want me to be two-dimensional. Like I'm just this paper doll. That's just a two-dimensional thing. That's not it.
No one
I'm
is.
194 pounds, 5'4". I have curves. I'm a real person. I'm a real boy. You know what I mean? Like,
I told my spouse, I said, I did my grand openings yesterday, and of course I was gonna just do one, and then I postponed it to January 3rd, and then I said, no, I'm gonna do it today. Why did I start another one? Why did I start 2 businesses? And I said, I think it's and my husband was like, "Why? No, I really wanna know why you have 2 companies now." And I was like, "I think it's because I have multiple personalities and they both need jobs. Like, they just need different jobs. Like, I can't it's not me, it's my personality. It's like I give one a corporate job and the other one has to have a party job. Like, it's just the way of the world."
yeah, yeah,
But we are all multifaceted human beings, and that's the
yes,
thing. When you lock yourself into one set, that's what I thought was brilliant about your career, just watching what you have done with, and like I said earlier, you know, that journalism aspect and the way that you process information, and then putting that into an art and articulating it for other people to understand, because your inner teacher wants to teach people, right?
Yeah.
And so to put that all together, it takes people decades to ever get there. And
Well,
that's
I
that
mean,
entrepreneur spirit, right? Is to be
yeah,
there.
and so the whole journey, right? The whole journey of my career from 14 forward, I wanted to reclaim that. You know,
Nice.
I know a lot about construction. So why not? And I was working with this company called roofermarketers.com.
Hmm.
Brian and forgot his partner, they're genius. They're super smart. They're the best marketing company for roofers, period.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
amazing.
Yes. And so I write all these kind of like capsuled content that we use for the pages, you know, for
Hmm.
like if they do metal roofing, then we put in this. If they do cedar shingles, we put in this, right? And as I was doing that, I was realizing,
And they
I
did it
think
all without OneNote. I love this, but go
I
ahead.
know, right? It was Google. It was a lot of, I built that, you know, like with my friend. And so, but anyway, so I was thinking, you know, what about blog posts? Because they didn't really see the value of blog posts, but I know a lot of WordPress developers who build websites.
Hmm.
So they could buy this content pack that's specifically generic,
Yes.
right? So there are 12 blog posts. You don't have to do anything to them, but you could, because it's a JSON file and they get imported as drafts.
Yeah.
You own the content. It's not syndicated like the bullshit that happens in the franchise industry. And
Yeah.
so that was me getting back that insight from being in the franchise industry,
Hmm.
because local small businesses can't compete with the marketing power that franchises have.
And the worst part about franchises, and I'm so sorry to hone in on this, but I have an opinion, and I just have no filter. So the worst thing about franchises is that, so they have all this power, right? But yet they don't take care of their people. Like, because they leave it up to your individual franchise owner to take responsibility. Come on now. You have the power to create a PEO, and yet you can't even do that. You can't even find a VP of human resources to get the galls to tell everybody we're doing it the wrong way. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
it's
my own opinion, but tell me
Yeah,
more.
I mean, I just see it from the home services industry, because that was the part of franchising I was in, not necessarily McDonald's. We were
I'm
in
thinking
franchise
global
development.
franchises, but yeah.
Oh, we were doing franchise development. Like we wanted you to buy a Win Home Inspection franchise or a
Mhm,
Paul Davis franchise, not go to them when your basement floods. That makes
mhm.
sense. So
No,
it's
that makes
still
sense.
marketing, right? So I was like, okay, I know how to do this. So I wrote these articles that would link out, you know, outbound links to trusted sources that would not be competitors.
Mm. I think there's something on your camera.
Are
We
you
cannot
serious?
we cannot see you.
Well, that's embarrassing.
Oh, no, no, you're fine.
Can you see me now?
Ta-da! There you
I
are.
must have like touched it.
No, I think it was when we were talking. You're
Oh,
fine.
sorry.
No, and that's the thing, is that, like, so people, I actually looked at franchises. Originally, I was like, the first franchise I was gonna own was a Quiznos, and I had the
Oh,
choice between a Quiznos and a Subway, and I said Quiznos, and they're like, "Why Quiznos?" And I was like, "Because the flavor is much better."
way
But that was
better.
before I knew about the cost and the efficiency of it all. And guess where, like, who won that battle?
Well, potentially you.
Yeah, because I didn't do any of it. No, but so like franchises, and there's also, I just discovered that there's this website, right? And I was like, I want to be friends with them, because everybody gets stuck in these old ways. So like they lose. I just had a conversation with somebody. I was like, it's sad when brands lose the vision of the creator, of what the creator originally had intended to have,
Hmm.
and to have, because when you create something that actually becomes a franchise, that becomes a part of history. And when
Yeah.
we lose sight of the vision, we lose sight of tradition. And when we lose sight of tradition, then what do we really have at the end of the day, right?
That's why people leave companies when they get acquired.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get that. So I love what you do so much. So what? So when did you know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur? I know we kind of almost touched base on it, but when did you like know, like, because for me, I stumbled on it. Like I just like tripped and I was like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. Let me Google how to spell it, right? And then I was like, oh, this is what I am. I can't spell it yet, but I'll
I
get back
love
to
that
you in
you
a week.
said that because that's one of the words I can't spell. Thank you, French. Um, I got fired from said job, and I tried to go work for all the other people who were drooling over me in the past, and they couldn't afford me.
Yeah, good. And that was
So
the moment. So did you take that initiative then, or was it just was it just a
so then
thought?
I said, "Well, I'm gonna just take control of this. I know everything." I mean, I have an accounting background. I've been traveling the United States, actually the world, speaking and, standing up at booths, telling people about this product at,
Mhm.
trade shows, being a booth babe, so I could do it for myself.
Yeah.
So I just said, "Well, I'll do this, this, and this," and actually my first client was for collections.
Are you gonna get I just changed my number. Hi, hello. No,
No, not
I'm not here today.
business collections,
Oh, okay, then we're good. I'm
for the
golden
website,
there.
because I have friends who have agencies, right? And they're
Yeah,
like, well, they go, well, what do you do? We heard you're out of work. What do you do? I go, I do this, this, and this. Oh, you do collections? Yeah, for how much? I don't know, 25 to 50%. What if they don't pay? Then you don't pay me. And I
yeah.
would just go then, and they'd be like,
I love that.
wait, they sent you to collections? I'm like, well, this bill is 45 days old, sir. I'm super
Yeah,
good at collections. That's what when I was in roofing, I was in collections.
yeah, that's amazing. I love that. So one of the things that I thought originally for my career, I always thought I'd be the director of a call center. I always wanted to be the direct, like that was like my ultimate goal in life. I was like, if I could just get in that chair and tell everybody how to do it right.
That's so funny.
But then I was never about that, right? And so being an entrepreneur, we have what drives us, and we have what's available to us, and then we have our vision. And then the moment that we're able to piece that all together is obviously look at what you've done with Launch with Words, right? Look at what you've created historically and look at what the connections that you've made along the way. That is part of being an entrepreneur, right?
So, we touched on this briefly in the pre-show, but a lot of being an entrepreneur is self-awareness and therapy and, reclaiming your life from things that weren't that great.
Yeah.
So, this is the Barbara Walters moment you were looking for.
Wait, I'm ready. I
On
love you.
February 15th of 2020, I drove myself to the emergency room because I didn't want to live anymore. I don't have any children. My husband died, my dogs died, and my in-laws no longer wanted to be part of my life.
Oh,
And that was 5 years ago. But last year, like it came to a head. I wasn't sleeping. I was post hysterectomy, like put it all
yeah.
in there. Lexapro wasn't working anymore. Whatever. I knew I had to build a life. I had to rebuild my life again, just like Madonna, constantly rebuilding my life. Because the therapist, actually, not the therapist, the psychiatrist said, what are 3 reasons for you to live?
Hmm.
I couldn't think of them.
In that moment of
In
like
that
5
moment, I
years
could
ago,
not think of
yeah.
them.
Who can? How
Well,
did
I
that make you
mean,
feel?
most people like go, well, my kids, my dog, my house, my business. I had none of that.
Mm,
So it took me a while, but she was like silent on purpose. So I was like, well, I do like helping people and I'm good at my job. See, like these people that say, well, you shouldn't have work defining you, but like that's what I'm good at,
thank you. I
right?
get that,
So I
and
said, I want to build something that's bigger than me, that lasts longer than me, that gives me something to look forward to. This is
yeah,
my child.
yeah,
When I die, my service-based business will die. But this
yeah.
product is worth something, and I
But
plan on producing a pack about 10 times a year.
wow,
I
that's
mean, I
that's
literally
impressive.
got a will, which is sitting in my room right here that I need to go get notarized and witnessed by a couple people to
Yeah,
give my business to someone should I die.
yeah.
And the rights to the trademark that is for Launch with Words, which is still pending.
Which people don't realize how hard and how long that takes to get the trademark process going. And it's such a battle. Like, look
It's
at
a
what's
little
happening with
spendy too.
7-Eleven. Look at 7-Eleven right now in Australia. That's insane.
I spent the money on it because I wanted to, I needed it. I needed something.
Hold on to him. Yeah. And
That's,
that's a powerful why. And that's great. Why not?
yeah.
Like, good.
Otherwise, it just feels like it's too expensive for me to be alive.
Oh. And this was 5 years ago.
No, This is February of 2020.
Oh wow. I'm impressed by you. 100%. Good
So
job.
that's why I started writing books.
Yeah.
So I did one in April, one in October. I have 5 books or something now. Oh, yeah, I'm working on a third with my partner, Warren Lee Nida. And then
That's
Launches Words will
wonderful.
become a book in
What are the
January.
name of what's the name of your first book?
Dysfunctional Love Songs.
Yes, all day
It,
long. And so
it's
is
a
it a
help. It's
go
a
ahead.
help. It's a self-help book.
That's wonderful. And that's one of the things that most people don't talk about. And I thank you for bringing that up because mental health is very important because some of the most brilliant people have done some of the most neurotic things. And in history, what are we remembered by, right? And so for you to take that step forward and to say no, like that this will not define me because I am a powerful human being and I'm going to act on that, not based
Yep.
on what my therapist is trying to pull out of me, but based on what I know is going to come out of me.
Yeah,
And
because I
that
love
is
I
amazing.
yeah, I love helping small businesses. And I
Yeah.
know that my web developer friends are not charging enough money. And then they'll do their 5-page website, and then the guy will sit, then the contractor will say this doesn't work because nobody told them they need to go like this.
Yeah.
Google wants you to publish. So even once a month is better than zero. So that's why I took my ebook that's called If You Don't Mind Your Business, Who Will? Like, I shouldn't have to care more about your business than you do, right? That's how I felt as a secretary a lot. Like, this is your business, figure it out. And as a marketing consultant, look,
Mhm.
I can tell you what to do. You don't do it, it's not my fucking problem.
Well, and see, that's one of the things too, is that, and I love what you do with the SEO, and I like, just watching that whole cycle that I saw, because one thing that I learned as a new business owner was that yes, you cannot do anything if you don't have a website. Like, how are you functioning as a business? I spoke to somebody the other day and I'm like, what do you mean you don't have a green Google mark? That's the Google mark of the gods. Like, everybody should have that. And if you don't have that, let me help you get that. And so that brings me to a good point right now. So one of the things that, per your show, per this being your 4-year anniversary, I wanted to give away one of my products. And so one of my products is actually the Google My Business Suite. And so people don't know how important it is to have Google My Business Suite, but I am going to give that to somebody, whoever is here. Hopefully one of your friends comes and is a business person and needs that. I will give it to them for free for 3 months. And
Oh,
so they'll
cool.
have access to that. And then if they want to build a web page and see what it's like to build a three, I can't do 5 pages, but I can give you 3 pages. And then I can show you how to make extra pages. But yes, so I'm giving that away as part of what I do for my jobs. And so
Perfect.
what I built for my company is to give people an opportunity to bridge that gap, because you know what? They're not going to get what we get, right? And I'm not going to get what you get until you and I speak a little bit more. But when you become a bridge and you're like, okay, I'm just going to bridge everybody together because everybody is brilliant. I can't be brilliant at everything, right? But if you become the bridge and you bridge everybody and you're like, oh, here you go, voila. Stop stressing out. Go focus on your vision. Go focus
Right.
on being a plumber. Go focus on being a roofer. Go focus on being a problem solver. Let me focus on the little things. Let me focus on your technology, on your hosting, on your app development, right? your SEO. Oh my goodness. All day long, I was like, she's a gem. Like, I need her in my life. I need her on my
Aw.
website. I need her everywhere. And people don't know that they need you yet. And that's why I was
Right.
so grateful that you were willing to come on the show today.
Oh, for sure. Like I love podcasts. It's so fun for me. And of course I like talking. But but that's the thing is like this is my passion. Teaching is my passion. Teaching
Yeah.
is my why. And that moment, which I talk about very openly with everyone.
Bridget, you
And
can't skip to my question. That is my Bridget. We're gonna have to pause. Bridget, what is your why?
I
You just
love
said it.
encouraging people and teaching them. That's
Good.
it. Like that moment, Valentino, when you could see in their eyes they get it.
Yeah,
That's it. That's my drug.
absolutely. And that's amazing. And that's one of the things that's important, right? And so as long as we follow our passion. So what do you think you're gonna do? So you're writing another book. Do we know the name of that book?
Right now, I'm working on the third book with Warren Lane Knight. It's called The Only Online Marketing Book You Need for Your School. We already did small business and nonprofit. So it's a 3-book series.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then is that gonna relate into how can you answer a question for one of my friends that asked me this question today, Bridget? So I was speaking with her and I told her about you and about what you do. And she's like, what is a widget? And so like, can you explain what a widget is? So that way
So
she's listening right now? Because I couldn't
so
explain it to her the way that you could probably explain it to her.
well, let's see. So a widget is a little extra thing that you can put code snippets or like functionality on your website.
Yeah.
And usually they're in the sidebar or footer. But with WordPress and their Gutenberg editor, those widget functionalities will actually die. They'll be sunsetted. And it's just going to be blocks. But a widget is a place that you can put special code.
I like that. See? Thank you, Roseanne, for asking that question wherever you are today. Awesome. I love that. And then, so your passion, we talked about what drives you. I like that. And how long have you been an entrepreneur for? So we said we went back to 1997, right? 1998. But that was when you went to college. But like, when did you really own it? When did
Oh
you claim
no,
that space?
98 was when I was finished with college. I went to college in 91.
Oh, wow. Okay, perfect.
I changed my major 5 times.
What was your first major?
Business,
Second
I
major?
then it was teaching, then it was psychology, then it went back to teaching. I what was the other one? I don't know, I did teaching.
A
And
lot
I
of
did that
teaching.
for a year, and then I hated it. And
And that
not the classroom, and not the kids, the parents.
Yeah. Oh goodness, I could see that. I could see that 100%. And
Yeah,
that's the thing that I wanted you to say that out loud because it's important that somebody out there that is defeated by going to college for their second time or changing their major, they put all this pressure on themselves and they're like, I'm a complete failure. And they're only 19. And I'm like, but you're only 19. You realize I'm 40 and I barely understood what I'm supposed to do in the world. Like I barely just a month ago was like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do with my life,
yeah,
It
yeah.
happens. We're all at our own pace.
The whole failure thing is really tricky, and I think especially those of us who are used to being super criticized, it's even worse. Like I had this goal of running a 5K, and because everybody said I couldn't. And then I was like, well, I'm off my training schedule. And I was talking to my best friend, like, Jen, I didn't even run. And she's like, it doesn't matter, Bridget. Like, you can walk 3 miles. Like, the worst case scenario, you can walk.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. But I'm like, but I failed for what? Who cares?
Based on
And
whose time zone are we on?
I,
Who makes
and
these
I,
rules?
right. And I had so many troubles with like, people not liking me and my personality, like never fitting in anywhere, that I actually got tested for autism.
Ah. And
Yeah.
how did that make you feel though? That's a big step into that's a hard one to do.
I mean, I'm fine if that was the result. I just wanted to know why don't people like me?
Yeah.
I don't understand this. And so I found out that it's extreme social anxiety from PTSD for the last 48 years, basically.
Which makes you a hyper vigilant human being, which makes you super efficient, which makes you very expressive with what you do and super successful. So you're welcome.
Yeah, it's very good for my career, very bad for my social life.
But You just need to meet other people like you. I told you, Bridget, we're going to be best friends after this. And you're going to be like,
Oh,
stop calling me
sure.
Valentino. I'm like, oh, today I'm Queer H CEO. You get the other person. I'm like, no, he needs to stop calling me as well, or they need to stop calling me. And I'm like, okay, but can we tweet?
No, but for real, like that, there a couple of days ago, I had 3 friends call me
Mhm.
uh, who were feeling really low, and I actually confessed to my safe person that I was in the bathtub and I was thinking like,
Just overwhelmed.
this would be a good time for me to end things.
And that was 3 days ago.
Yeah,
That's hard.
yeah, and then all these people called me, and they're like, I see that I have built a family
Hmm.
of people who love each other and not just need me. We all need each other. And I was proud that I could see that moment
Hmm.
and uh, stop it. Um, but every time you lose a client, every time somebody's upset, it's very difficult to not take it personally. But it has
Hmm.
more to do with them than you. And I mean, uh, that in the truest sense, you
Yeah.
know? And my diagnostic psychologist who tested me for autism, she said, Bridget, you're on your own timeline.
Hmm.
Your grandmother lived to 101, you're only 48. Like, stop competing with other people.
Yeah. Absolutely. I encourage your doctor because seriously, you are on your own. Nobody makes these rules. You don't have to live by you've done way more. I can't wait to look at your work and to see how that fits into things. And the fact that you did a cold call today, like I was like, do you want me to call them for
I
you, Bridget? I will call them and say you need to have this. What do you mean
I
I need
did
to?
6 cold
Because
emails today. I was so proud of myself.
you got to give yourself credit for that. People don't understand,
It's
especially when
so
you have
hard.
social anxiety and you're used to having things a certain way. It's very different, right? And so you have to give yourself credit for that 100%.
Well, it's not gonna sell itself.
No, it's not. I put this website up and I sat here and I was like 5 minutes in and I was like, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, nobody's visited my website. And I'm like looking at all the analytics and I'm like, is someone going to visit? And I was like, how does this work? Oh, you need to
Shoeless
advertise.
Joe.
Oh,
Shoeless Joe has ruined our lives. If we build it, he will come. That is not how it works.
no, there are too many buildings now, right? There are way too many buildings. Like we need to no. I'm calling Lego. And I was like, I told my friend the other day, I was like, I'm gonna call Lego and ask them to sponsor me because we're gonna bigger buildings.
Yeah,
Technological savvy buildings. You're welcome.
yeah, for sure.
I'm impressed by you, and I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but you have a support system, it sounds like, right? And
Oh,
so
I
you
have a
have a
great support system, but I'm just being
you're
real.
human.
I
You're a
feel like
human being. You
this is
have those
the
down moments.
I don't tell everybody, but I feel like this is the real be real show. Like be who
Yeah,
you really are. We want to help an entrepreneur. They need to know it's going to be like this.
it gets ugly.
It
It
gets
gets
ugly. There's a lot of crying.
why is there so
Well,
much
because no, because I know, right?
there really is a
Because
lot of crying.
I can either get clients or I can date.
Yeah.
I can't do both. It's too difficult. There's too much optimism and makeup and
No. Yeah.
that has to happen. It's emotionally exhausting. Like, oh, now I have to like tell you how awesome you are, and now I have to be like, you know, tell. How do you not know that you need to have a blog post on your website?
Yeah.
How do you not know that it's 2021? How do you not know you should be publishing on your website?
How
But
did
they
how did we not meet sooner? Because that was the one thing that bothered me about my website was that it was like, "Hey, you should have a blog post." And I'm like, "I can't because I have no filter. Like I need somebody to filter my words." And my spouse won't filter my words because that will then we get in a fight because like what did you think about why did you take that one word out? Do you think what like I'll go crazy on him and be like, no, like, are you judging me? Is that how you think about our whole relationship? Like, I'll take it to a whole other place. It'll go from the website all the way down to like 1995. Like, we
I
can't
could
do
get clients or I could date. When
that.
my clients are stable, then I'm okay to date.
I love that. So yeah, so I'm actually looking forward to your product. And is there when you market your product, like how can you kind of walk me through that? Pretend like I'm uninterested. person. Like I own the city of Commerce.
Oh, that's
Okay,
pretty
so
good
no,
city.
seriously. So I own the city of Commerce, and it's the city of unicorns.
Oh,
No,
okay.
but City of Unicorns is pretty amazing, but it's actually misrepresented. So I kind of need a little bit more direction. And my staff is minimal right now because of the pandemic, and my city doesn't have enough money to do a lot of things. So, and you're not going to be able to get a hold of me because you're probably going to get to an answering machine because nobody's answering that line anymore, and it's
Oh,
just forwarded to somebody that we don't even know if they even
like,
work
do you
here.
want members to your Chamber of Commerce, or is it the unicorn chamber where only one person's allowed to be?
Oh well, I am, like I want you to come there. I want you to give me money. I have a website up. You can put money there, but like
But why should I join yours? Why wouldn't I join the one for the whole county?
I don't know. Is there a difference?
Well, they have more people for me to network with.
But are they
See,
the right type of people?
right, so that's the whole thing, and when I wrote these blog posts, I'm, like, writing it as, "Why should I join the Chamber of Commerce? What does the Chamber of Commerce do? Like, how do you like, why should I join your Facebook group? What should I do with these events? How does this work with my business?" Like, and there's 7 in my city.
Yeah.
One charges $500 a year, one charges $900 a year. So if you only go by that, that's not maybe enough, right? So
I
you
went
need
all the way to California, honestly. I'm from California, and so I've been researching Chamber of Commerce's, and I've been looking at the behavior, and I'm an analyst, and so
yeah.
like I've been analyzing, like, okay, so this one behaves like this. Their website goes here, their website goes here, their number goes here, their number goes there. This one responded, this one did not respond. This is what that product is, and there's 3 different variables of different processes. Blah 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 blah. Only one of them passed the test.
See,
And I had to
that's
go
sad.
all the way to Los Angeles for them to pass that test.
That's
I
just
even
so sad.
showed up to one the other day. So when I saw that you did one for the Chamber of Commerce, I said, I don't think they realize how much they need her. I don't think they realize that what you can do for them would be beneficial, especially on the SEO side, because maybe you're not marketing to the right people. And then maybe that's a conversation of maybe it'll trigger you to figure out what you need to do better. Or maybe it's just an idea of, hey, how can I get more visibility on a different level within the right demographic that I want to
Right.
talk to me?
And so, I mean, there's a bunch of reasons, and then you have something to share on social media too. That
Hmm.
isn't just an event or a press release.
Yeah.
Your website can't be full of events and press releases, you
I
know?
just learned about a press release. Apparently, those are important. I just did a grand opening without one.
Whatever.
Who
Like,
cares?
I don't know.
It's not the 1500s anymore.
I mean,
We're not. There are places that still
1984
demand.
called
Yeah,
about this press
1984 still
release.
makes you do that. In like Arizona, I think Arizona is one of those states, and Utah, you still have to like post that you own a business before
Yeah,
your business becomes legitimized. And Georgia, not knocking you guys, I'm just saying you still have
it's
to do those
different,
old school
you know?
things. Yeah.
Yeah, but so, my customer, though, Valentino, is the developer themselves,
Ooh.
not the end user, not the roofing contractor, not the
It's
so
the
when I did the
developer.
cold callers, when I did the cold emails, I emailed people who build Chamber of Commerce websites
Mm.
because this is a value add for them. I don't
Mhm.
care if the end user knows that I wrote these.
Yeah.
Like, it's $500, they should charge at least 1,200.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then they have they have a bigger reason to keep a contract over a whole year instead of build and run, which is what too many WordPress developers do. And
Yeah.
then they complain they don't have enough income. Well, that's because they're not building and keeping a contract for a whole year.
I really want to pick your brain so much. Like we could have conversation. I just had a conversation with somebody yesterday who does import export. And so like that's one of the industries I want to break in as far as my company is concerned. And one of the things that people don't realize is that SEOs are very important. SEOs are very like, how do you get yours? You have all these people that say, we're going to get you to the front page of Google. You're not going to get me to the front page of Google. I mean, trust me. You know who's going to get me to the front page of Google? Google is. And you know who else is going to? There's other brands. They're not paying me to say their name, so I'm not going to. But there's other brands that if you do it the right way and you trigger the right algorithm, all of a sudden, guess where you're at? You're on the front page. But that only lasts as long as you keep that algorithm going.
Right. It's like a coal engine. You gotta
Yeah,
keep
you
putting
have
I
to
mean,
keep it
that's
going if
marketing,
you.
right?
Yep,
It
exactly.
can keep going on momentum, but momentum is not sustainable, okay?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. SEO is more than just whatever's on your website. Everybody goes, oh, optimize my website. It's okay. Twitter is the best. So I'm always saying website, YouTube, Twitter. Twitter is one of the best. It's the best social network for SEO, and I'll tell you why.
Please
Because
do.
individual tweets are indexed. Okay, so if you want,
no, I'm laughing on a personal level of what I have tweeted in the past 60 days.
so if you Google Bridget Willard, you'll see
Yes.
my website, and then you'll scroll down. You'll probably see LinkedIn, and then you'll see a carousel of tweets. Then you'll see like YouTube, Facebook's way down.
Okay, so I haven't Googled my name. I actually want to Google my name now. My name is Queer Hispanic CEO. So when I actually Google Queer Hispanic CEO, that's what everybody knows me by because that's what I've been marketing, right?
Yeah.
And so when you pull up that name, I have pages in multiple languages. And I was like, what? I was on a radio station. And then you like look at these radio stations and I'm like, it's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
But I haven't done my actual name, Valentino Luna, to see what comes
Well,
up.
I mean, and that's the thing is that I'm Bridget Willard, Bridget Willard, Bridget Willard, Bridget Willard.
Consistency. I like it.
Yeah. And so
How many pages do you have?
I used to have 20. I think it's only 15 now.
What happened to the other 5? Who ate them?
Well, okay, so like Briggs Construction, the first the company I was at, they took off the blogs. First of all, they didn't keep their WordPress site that I built up, and they went back to the CSS crap that I built, and then they put the website back up. But so like when brands die and all that content I used to have a byline on is gone.
Yeah.
No.
I like it. So for everyone that's listening, today is Bridget Willard's 4-year entrepreneur anniversary. So congratulations. I'm super excited to share that moment with you. And as a celebration and a tribute to her hard work over the last 4 years to get her to where she's at with Launch with Words and the 3rd book that she's coming out with, I'm going to be giving away to the first person that signs up after this show before Thursday on the end of midnight on Thursday, when I do the replay with Restream of this show right now, I will select a winner and we will get you set up with the Google My Business suite plus a couple of other different programs. It's basically a starter program and you will have 3 months for free. And then you will also have a website to build for you, and that would be for 3 pages. So that would be only for Bridget's fans. And if Bridget, I will find them for you. I will paste this all over the place. And I say, somebody take this. I asked somebody the other day if they wanted that, and they were like, okay, I'll get back to you. And I was all, I don't think you realized what I was offering you. I didn't say you had to do any work or pay me anything. I want to do it because I want to plug it all together for myself so I can see success, right?
People don't get how important Google My Business is. Like my partner, Warren Lane Knighted, teaches SEO. And he was telling these people, it used to be the ads were all on the side. Now your Google My Business will show up, and that's like free space.
And for me to be able to teach you that. And so like, that's the thing is that like, so I have this plan and I'm going to have a class. I'm going to show you where your fingers go, right? I'm going to show you how to retrain your fingers to go from pleasure apps to money apps.
Oh, I like that.
Money apps. I want you to go from pleasure to money. And what I'm going to show you is with your thumb and your index finger, instead of going to the left, you're going to go to the right and you're going to go to My Business Suite. You're going to go to Facebook's Business Suite. You're going to go and I'm going to launch you into all you got to do is, instead of spending hours figuring it out, I'm going to train you how to spend 10 to 15 minutes 4 times a day marketing yourself on a multitude of different websites with the SEOs that we put in place, with the advertisements already mapped out, so you have more time with your family.
Exactly.
And then using something like what you have, Bridget, you best believe we're going to have a real conversation. I want you all over my website. You're gonna have a little token somewhere.
Aw.
Because what you do is very important, and a lot of people don't know about that. And so what people don't know, they're afraid of. And so to put a face to it is so important, to say,
Yeah.
no, we don't bite. We actually empower you to get the visibility that your company deserves. And if no one's told you today that your company deserves the type of visibility that Bridget Willard's company can bring you, then you're out of injustice. So let's
Yeah,
get
and
to it.
it's not some random person writing a bunch of crap. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm writing from my experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. I
Like, my
now that I
friends
know
ask
about
me, they're like, "Oh, my roof is leaking." I'm like, "Well, is your roof leaking?" "Well, there's a water stain." "Then your roof is leaking." "Oh, it's probably not that." "Oh, it probably is. You should call a roofer." "Oh, I don't need a roofer." And then a couple days later,
you
"Oh,
need a
man, it's
roofer.
leaking." A bit worse rainstorm, 'cause you know how it is here in Texas. And then all of a sudden it's dripping, and now they're like, "Oh, yeah, remember when you said that, Bridget?"
Yes, we're gonna get everybody needs to contact Bridget. Don't forget to look her up at Launch with Words, and that's LaunchWithWords.com. And if you want to visit her on Twitter, her Twitter handle is BridgetMWillard.
Yep.
All right, excellent. So I
I'm pretty
before
friendly. I follow most people back unless you're porn, but, like, I mean, I probably follow the
You
porn people
spoke
back.
to me. Let's tell everybody the true story. So everybody and everybody that's watching, so just know that Bridget was the first human being to speak to me on Twitter. I was friends with two bots, and the bot used to retweet my things. And every time I see one of my postings get retweeted, I get so excited. I'm like, "Yay, I've made it!" No, it was a bot the whole time. And then Bridget came, and I was like, "Bridget," and she responded, and I was like, "Will you be on my show?" And she said yes, and here we are.
Well, you gotta ask. That's what I always say. People don't know you have a product or service unless you tell them.
Exactly. So what I want to do is I do want to ask you one of the most important questions. Actually, two questions before we wrap this up. We have 4 more minutes. Oh, I'm so excited. So before we go, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. And if you are an entrepreneur that is watching this, you get 40% off of Intuit. And so go ahead and click the link that is on this page, and you'll get 40% off of the next 6 months of your service. So QuickBooks, if you use it, I highly recommend that you do. QuickBooks just launched some cool programs where they're making it more personable on their end. So I would definitely look them up. Also visit my website, which is corporatediagnosticcenter.com. And we will be happy to help you with all of your data analytics, website development, website hosting, and we will also help you get the visibility that you need. And if you want us to incorporate your business, we can incorporate your business in all 50 states.
Awesome.
So that being said, what I
It's a
want to add,
one-stop shop.
you have no idea. And it gets better. This is only phase one. I have 4 phases of my business.
Oh, man, I can't wait to see that. I'm excited for you. Sorry.
I really am too. Everybody wonders why I'm so stressed out, and I'm like, you don't know what I'm doing. Nobody gets it. They're like, you don't speak English anymore. I'm like, I know, but that's it. One day I will. I'll relearn to use my words. So that being said, what is something that you wish you can tell your younger self before taking on this entrepreneur journey? What is that one piece of advice that you think would have benefited from today now that you know it?
You're worth it.
That's a powerful one. Yes.
I mean, it sounds like a bumper sticker,
No.
but I didn't think I could do it. I didn't think I was worth that, but that was for other people.
Yeah. And that's the entrepreneur struggle, and people don't understand that because we see things differently. And I said this on my last show, and I'll say it again. We see things where nobody else sees it. We see solutions where everybody else sees a problem. We see money where everybody sees just like nothingness. And we see business processes and
Yeah.
just it's a whole different. Some people are like, oh, you might be autistic. Hey, and even if I was, I'm more power to me.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. Because I
And
was gonna double down on my strengths. That was why I did it. I'm
can I
doubling down.
can I invite you to use one of my hashtags that I just started?
Sure.
It's hashtag leading with PTSD, because we don't use that hashtag enough. And as leaders, you are a leader in your environment. I'm the leader of like, I just have rabbits and cats right now, but one day, I'll be the leader of my of an actual functioning company more than just my website. But I am a leader with PTSD as well. And so people, they when you say it vocally, it's a welcome to say, hey, it's okay to have this and it's okay to experience this because we succeed no matter what. We don't let things hold us down or debilitate us. We keep going, we build community, and we build our products. That's what we do as human beings and as entrepreneurs.
Yep.
Would you agree?
Yep, 100%.
And then if you had one piece of advice that you can give to that future entrepreneur that is not there yet, what would that one piece of advice be?
Just start. It's the Chinese proverb. The best day to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best day is today.
If that is not the truth, I have never heard more. Where were you, Bridget? Where were you
I was on Twitter.
Where were you like 10 years ago when I needed you?
I was still on Twitter.
This is why we're going to be best friends. So my spouse was like, when are you going to start your business? And I was like, I don't know, like in January 3rd, because I'm a control freak and I want everything to be perfect. And then I was like on my other gig and I said, why am I waiting till everything's going to be perfect? I should just do it. And your advice just now, you just forget about the future entrepreneur. You just made me feel better about starting and not being ready. And I am ready. So yes, thank you very much. Like
nobody's ever ready, Valentino. And even if you think you are, wait till you get that first stubborn client and you will be crying in the bathroom.
No, but I took out all the carrots to get here. That is not acceptable. No. No one will do that to me. Yeah, I'm going to be crying so hard.
There will be tears.
What have you done? I don't know. I thought you asked me for purple. I said blue. It happens. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening in today. Thank you for watching us. This is Entrepreneur Beginnings with Queer H CEO. Feel free to follow me at Queer Hispanic CEO on Facebook. And thank you, LinkedIn. Bridget, I can't thank you enough. Congratulations on all your successes. And I look forward to actually seeing you on my website soon.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Thank you so much. And make sure to follow Bridget. And she is on Twitter at Bridget M. Willard. Thank you so much and have a great evening.
Bye.